everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back to talk about citrus perfumes. So I've got quite a few here, but I actually, I'm not a huge fan of citrusy type perfumes. They aren't my first choice, but I do have a ton here, and I do want to share the ones that I have with you. I've got a pretty good combination here. I've got some really like fresh tart citruses. I've got some boozy citruses. I've got some gourmand citruses, and yeah, I actually really love the citrus collection that I do have. So anyways, I've got a ton here. I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with one of my absolute favorites, hands down. This perfume is, this is like a lifer for me. I will always have this in my collection. This is a fragrance from Moschino, and this is called I Love Love. This is an old signature of mine. I used to wear this back in the early 2000s. I want to say maybe 2004, 2005, 2006, somewhere in that time period. This used to smell a lot like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. The original formulation of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, they used to be very similar, but Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue has, in my opinion, has gotten so watered down at this point that it's like a completely different fragrance now. I love this perfume. This is like a really fizzy, effervescent, orange perfume with greens in it. It's like an orange tonic water or something that's a little bit sweet, that has a green aspect to it. It's so tart, it's so fresh, it's so beautiful. At the same time though, it does have a really gorgeous warmth to it, and as it dries down on your skin, it just wears beautifully. This is one of those perfumes in my collection that I'm like, holy cow. If you're a perfume collector and you don't hate perfumes like this is one that I feel like everybody should have in their collection, because it's so phenomenal. It's just so good. It's an absolute beast too. I'm not totally sure when my bottle's from. Yeah, I'm not totally sure. So I don't know if this has been reformulated or not. I'm hoping that it hasn't been, but my formulation or my bottle is a beast. It always was as well when I used to wear it back in the 2000s. Super long lasting. I can get a good 10, 12 hours out of this fragrance. It's just incredible. So probably, yeah, this is definitely my most favorite citrus perfume in my collection, my favorite perfume on this list. So anyways, that is Moschino I Love Love. Okay, next, this is a newer one to my collection. This was sent to me, I think it was last year. This is a fragrance from Sylvain Delacourt, and this is called Oranzo. Oh my gosh, I love Sylvain Delacourt fragrances so much. This one is orange and clementine and orange blossom. So this is like it's like a floral citrus fragrance, but it is heavily citrus. It's got some green notes in it. It's got some herbs in it. It's got some musk in the base. It is very warm, sweet, clean, and citric, and it is stunning. If you've never tried a Sylvain Delacourt fragrance, oh, I cannot recommend them enough. They are so good. I have all three discovery kits. Let me know if you guys want to see an updated video about all of the Sylvain Delacourt fragrances. It's been years since I posted a video, and I know there are probably like 18,000 more of you than there were back then when I did that video. So let me know if you guys are interested in this house, because this house is fantastic. Oh my gosh, and this is just beautiful. This is a really classy one. This isn't too, it's not like overly citrusy. It's warm. It's got a really beautiful floral aspect to it. So anyways, that is Sylvain Delacourt Oranzo. Okay, this next one, I love this fragrance so much. This is one that when I first got it, I didn't know if I was gonna love it. And I wore this, well, I wore it, I think I wore this in the fall when it was still warm out. This is a fragrance from Ormonde, Jayne, and this is called Gatsby 22. And Oh my gosh, is this gorgeous. This one is bergamot and lemon. It's got some beautiful sweet osmanthus in the middle. And then it's also got some vetiver and some tonka in the base. This one is unisex. I would say it's unisex leaning feminine, but it's definitely really beautifully unisex and clean. Very citrus heavy. Again, warm. It's not icy smelling or anything. It's very warm. It's got some pink pepper in it as well, which adds to the warmth. And it's beautiful. This is one that when it dries down on the skin, it is just stunning. It's such a beautiful hot weather citrus fragrance, and yeah, I really love this one. So that is Ormonde Jayne Gatsby 22. Okay, this next one, it's the same perfume, but I've got two different versions of it. I'm going to start with the more modern version because I love this one the most. This is a fragrance from 4711, and this is called Nouveau Cologne. I think the actual house is like Morier and Wertz or something, or Morier and Wertz. I can never remember. This is beautiful. This one is completely unisex. And this one is more of like a citrusy barbershop cologne type. This one's a little bit cooler smelling. It's not quite as warm. This one is pretty straightforward. It's citruses, some light florals in the middle, and then some musk in the base, but this is mostly citrus. Like I said, it's like a fresh, clean barbershop cologne. It smells incredible. I love the Nouveau Cologne the best. This one wears a little bit close to the skin, but it lasts a really long time, especially in the heat. And it is so fresh. This is one of those perfumes that can just be worn like on the hottest of days because it's so fresh and citrusy smelling. It's a little bit clean. It's a little bit sweet. It's perfection. It's so good. So that is the 4711 Nouveau Cologne. And then I picked up a vintage bottle of just the original 4711. This is like a dabber style. It's got a twist off lid. This bottle has gone off at this point. I just bought it because I just wanted the actual bottle of it. I knew I would never wear the contents inside, but the original 4711 is really beautiful as well. The original 4711, this one leans just a touch more masculine, I would say, than this one does. Sadly, this one has gotten really difficult to find. Last time I looked, I was not able to find this, but I got this off of like a weird website. I'll have to see. I used to get emails from them. I don't anymore. It's like strawberry something. I can't remember. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, it was a strange website that I found it on. But sadly, this one has gotten a little bit difficult to find. But if you can find it, it's definitely worth picking up. So anyways, that is 4711 and then 4711 Nouveau Cologne. This next one, you guys, this is one of my like gourmand citrus fragrances, and oh, I love this perfume so much. This is a fragrance from Brocard, and this is called My Cup of Tea. These Brocard perfumes are very, very difficult to come by, which is why I don't talk about this one much, because this one, if you want it, you're going to have a really hard time finding it. Oh my gosh, I love this though. This smells like lemon shortbread cookies and like a little bit of tea. Like imagine you have like a cup of black tea with a little bit of milk in it and you're eating lemon shortbread cookies. That's what this smells like. It smells like delicate lemon cookies. I love this so much. This one gets compared to Winter Palace from Memo, which they're totally different. Now, when you very first spray Winter Palace, it smells very similar to this. Like they smell so similar, but this is a very linear fragrance. It maintains the same scent on your skin the entire time. Winter Palace from Memo is like a journey. It's completely different in the dry down than what it is when you very first spray it on. So I would not say that it's a good comparison. I do have a sample of the Douai clone of Winter Palace, which I cannot wait to test. And I would say if you're looking for a fragrance you know, kind of similar, that the Nouveau Cologne of Winter Palace would probably be a really good option. But anyways, yeah, this is beautiful. This surprisingly lasts a very long time. I can get a good like 4 or 5 hours out of this for being like an inexpensive citrusy type perfume. But I'm obsessed with this. I don't have anything else in my collection that smells quite like this, and I love it. And I'm just very glad that I was able to get my hands on a bottle of this before it became impossible to get this house. So anyways, that is, now I don't think it's impossible for everybody. I do think, well, it might be now, but I do think like if you're in Europe, you'll have an easier time getting a hold of this. But for us here in the States, this house is very difficult. So anyways, that is Brocard, My Cup of Tea, 5 o'clock. This next one. Oh my gosh, this next one is a Guerlain fragrance, and this is probably the most tart, citrusy perfume I've got in my collection. This is from Guerlain. This is the Aqua Allegoria line, and this is Limon Verde. And this is the most bright, crisp, tart, sour, lemony perfume I think I've ever smelled. It's like a combination of like straight lemon and lime juice with maybe just a hint of sweetness, and that's exactly what it smells like. It's so bright and tart and fresh. It's incredible. Sadly, this one does not last a super long time. I love to layer this with Herba Fresca, and you get this kind of like mojito, like a kind of like a mint mojito type scent. It's very fresh. It's beautiful. This is another one that is just incredible in like the hottest of hot weather. It's so good. I love this one, but yeah, sadly it just doesn't perform super well, but it's one of my favorite citruses in my collection. It's the most straightforward citrus that I have, and I cherish it. I love it so much. So anyways, that is Guerlain Aqua Allegoria Limon Verde. Okay, next I have a couple of Ganache parfums, and I had really debated as to whether I wanted to include these, but I do think that you could probably still find these on the gray market. I don't know what's going on with Ganache. I don't know if they're like kaput or what's happening. Last I checked though, there's nothing on the website. Like it's all completely sold out. So I don't know. But I do have 2 amazing lemony perfumes from them, and I love them. So this first one is called Lemon Eclair, and this is delicious. It smells like lemon and pastry. Like creamy, sweet, decadent, delicious lemon and pastry, like a lemon-filled donut. That's what this one smells like. It is so delicious. These were sent to me, it's probably been about 1.5 years ago now. And I have not tested them recently, so I'm gonna have to give these a good wear test. And I will let you know, which I'll do that soon. And then the second one is Lemon Cream. And this one is, the pastry aspect to it is a little bit more prominent, and the lemon is a little bit more subdued. So this one's more like a lemon meringue pie or something, where you get this really creamy, like pastry aspect, and then just a little bit of lemon in the background. The lemon is very sweet. It's not tart. It's like a lemon meringue pie or something. If you love lemon and you like gourmands, these are 2 really good ones. Again, I wouldn't like go out of my way to hunt them down, but if you ever come across them, they're definitely worth picking up. I will say the lemon cream one is very similar to Zara, a sweet pastry in Paris. Very similar. Very subdued, sweet, creamy lemon. Really no tartness to it at all, and a lot of the pastry aspect. Yeah, super yummy. So anyways, that one is called Lemon Cream. Okay, this next one, I love this perfume so much. I have the oil, but this is a fragrance from Ormonde, and this is called Tag Her. And this one gets compared to Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, and it is similar to Light Blue, but this one is much sweeter and creamier, and this has like a tiny bit of a gourmand aspect to it. It's so good. I like this more than I like Light Blue because of that gorgeous like gourmand aspect to it. It is so beautiful. This one, I think it's got like vanilla in the base, which is what gives it that really beautiful, creamy, like slightly gourmand leaning smell to it. It's so good. This is great for layering. There's a flanker of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I cannot remember which one it was. I want to say it was like Sunset in Paneria, maybe. And I used to have that, and that one smelled very similar to this because that one had like a gourmand aspect to it as well. And the only reason that I decluttered it was because I had this, and this lasts way longer. That one didn't perform on me at all. And it was so similar smelling. So this is more like, I would say, that Sunset and Paneria flanker more than it is like Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, the original. This doesn't have that kind of crisp, watery, like greenness that Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue has. Oh, it's so good. This is sweet and creamy and just gorgeous. Perfect in high heat. I love to layer this, and I just love this scent. This is another one that, like, if you're a collector and you want something really classy, classic, something that's going to stand the test of time, but something that really performs super well, I feel like this is a must-have in anybody's collection. Again, unless you hate perfumes like this. But anyways, that is our Mauve Tag Her. Sadly, this oil is really hard to find as well, but the spray perfume is not hard to find at all. Okay, next, this one, I love this one so much than I ever have before. I had this perfume in a declutter box for like a year and a half, maybe even close to 2 years. And while it was sitting in that declutter box, not being given any love for a couple of years, this thing like matured and deepened and, oh my gosh, macerated like on another level, and it turned into something incredible. This is a fragrance from Salvatore Ferragamo, and this is Amo Ferragamo. And you guys can see like how dark my liquid has gotten. It's so, so dark. This has something in it called Campari, and apparently Campari is like an orange, some type of an orange liqueur. I'm not a drinker, so I don't really know, but this, when I very first got this smelled like a light orange creamsicle. It smelled like orange ice cream. It's changed so much over the years. It's really, really boozy now. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's like an orange booze in here now, and not like a creamy orange ice cream. It does have vanilla in the base. I would bet that it probably has tonka too, because of how this color has changed. This is fantastic. It lasted, I want to say, I think I wore this, it hasn't been too terribly long ago. I think it was back in the fall before it started to get cool. And it lasted forever. I used to have the worst luck with this, which is why it was in my declutter pile, because I would only get maybe like an hour, not even 2 hours out of it. Last time I wore this, I got like 6 hours out of it. So this is one that you just have to let it, I mean, it just has to sit for like years, and then the magic happens. It's incredible. I love this fragrance. I'm so glad. It was like divine intervention that nobody ever bought this, that I was never able to declutter it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Because it's like a perfectly aged bottle. So anyways, that is Salvatore Ferragamo, Amo Ferragamo. Next we have Zara, a sweet pastry in Paris. And this is one that I have been debating decluttering because I don't ever reach for it. I have other, I just don't ever reach for it. I need to give it a good wear and test it on my skin again, because when I used to wear it like a few years ago, and I haven't worn it in that long, I haven't worn it for probably 3 years now. When I used to wear it, I didn't love it. There wasn't enough lemon in it for me. Like the lemon just completely went away, and then I was just left with basically smelling like kind of like a donut, kind of like a bready, like a sweet bread almost. And I just don't love that. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to retest this one before I put it away and make up my mind about it. This one is definitely on the chopping block. So anyways, that is Zara, A Sweet Pastry in Paris. Okay, next, this is one of my favorite citrusy perfumes of all time. I love this fragrance so much because this reminds me of 1999. This was like, I worked in a department store in 1999. It was called the Bon Marché, but it's now Macy's. And when you walked into that department store, this is the only perfume that you could smell because this was so overpowering. Where I lived at the time, which was near Seattle, this was like all the rage. And so everybody smelled like this, the whole store smelled like this, and it's so nostalgic for me now. This is a fragrance from DKNY, and this is called DKNY Women. I used to call this DKNY Woman for so long until a few years ago I realized that's not woman because that's not an A, that's an E. So it's actually Women. I am obsessed with this. This is an original formulation, or this is a bottle of the original formulation. My mom bought this in probably 2002, and it's still perfect. It's still so good. I love this one. This one is basically like, this one has a really bright green tomato note in it, and then a really, really sharp, bright, crisp, clean citrus in it. And that's basically what you get with this one. It's got a tiny bit of sweetness to it, but it's mostly tomato leaf and citrus. And I'm obsessed with this fragrance. I love it. Again, it is super nostalgic for me. It's funny because if I lived there again when this came out and I had all the knowledge that I have now, this is not a fragrance that I would have probably gravitated towards because, as you guys know, Washington State, I should say Western Washington State, is very rainy, cool most of the year, and this is not a fragrance that I would gravitate towards now. But I'm so glad to have the scent memory of it. I love this perfume so much. I think it's super, super underrated too, and I'm pretty sure they still make it. And it's an amazing hot weather citrus. So anyways, that is DKNY Women. And then last but not least, I have a boozy, gorgeous, spiced citrus, and that is Orange Moonshine from, Orange Moonshine from Dreamhouse Acurio. And this is fantastic because this is really sweet. This is like a candied orange fragrance, like a super warm, boozy, candied orange fragrance. It is delicious and warm, and I love wearing this one in the heat because it is a citrus, so it holds up really well in the heat, but it's very boozy and warm. I love it. If you love candied orange, I think you would really like this one, but it is a really like strong, boozy candied orange. It's so good. I've never smelled anything quite like it. Super, super unique. He's got another perfume called Orange Sunshine, which is also fantastic. I have a sample of that one, but this one is to die for. Warm, boozy, candied orange. Fantastic. So anyways, that is Orange Moonshine from Dreamhouse Acurio. And that is going to be it, guys. Those are a bunch of citrus fragrances that I have in my collection. I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.